In this video, I want to brag a little with the incredible biodiversity of Limpopo Lipadi. Now, it's absolutely impossible to capture the reality of being immersed in the bush through pictures and even video. You have to be here to feel the sun on your skin, the birds around you, hear the birds, feel the wind in your face as you drive on your Land Cruiser from the southern side to the northern side of the reserve and really experiencing the vastness of the reserve. So you have to come out and actually experience it for yourself. But let me give it a try. Limpopo Lipadi's vision is to preserve this pristine African wilderness, and by taking ownership of the responsibility of conservation of this 32,450 hectares of unique biodiversity in the Tuli block in southeast Botswana. Now, the name Limpopo Lipadi captures two of the unique features of the reserve, the Limpopo River and Lipadi Hill, which is in the center of the reserve, and I'll share more about that. Let's first look at the Limpopo River. As you can see on this picture, it reminds a little of the Okavango Delta with its lala palms and its reeds and its very dense and green bush, Okavango Delta kind of feel. And in some places, the river in that 21-kilometer area actually widens to about 1 kilometer. Here you can see a picture with a channel to the right and then an island, and behind this there's 2 or 3 other islands as well with channels of river running through them. And so this river line supports large populations of crocodiles and family herds of hippos, cause abundance of aquatic bird life. You can hear the wonderful call of the fish eagle often here. You see whiteback vultures nesting in some of the trees. Of course, all the kingfishers and a variety of these of the bird life, and then also, of course, your waterbuck, bushbuck, kudu in the riverine areas. In some areas on the river, you get large or ancient rock formations and potholes, which you can enjoy just coming out with the children, having picnic. The children sit in the waterfalls and bathe in the pools. And there's cascades all over. It's a lovely part of the river as well. The river banks, you find these lovely scotia trees, large scotia trees and leadwood trees. They provide shade, wonderful shelter, and you can enjoy it as you explore the whole 21 kilometers on the riverbank, either by just walking or jogging or going out with your mountain bike or on the cruiser. And it's really your farm, and you can do whatever you like within, obviously, being in a safe, ensuring your own safety and being careful as you go into this wilderness area. There's another picture of a channel in the Limpopo River. You can see the greens. Now, during November, December, if it's been a dry year, you can actually walk in these riverbanks, because in some areas the river totally dries up, and you can go and explore the islands and walk for hours and hours as you explore the lovely islands. Then on the riverbank, you also find these ancient termite mounds with spectacular surroundings and views. There's a picture from Lipadi Hill. So the hills in the distance is actually in South Africa. The Lipadi Hill is nestled in the center of the reserve with a total length of 4.5 kilometers and 3 kilometers in width. It's a notable geological and archaeological feature, standing about 300 meters high above the surrounding plains. And when you look from Lipadi Hill into the distance, those mountains in South Africa are exactly about 100 kilometers away. So you have these wonderful bush views in all directions as far as the eye can see. And this picture was taken in autumn, so you see the orange and the yellow colors. Now, as any other area in Southern Africa, the 4 seasons are very distinct, and your autumn now would turn into winter when the leaves drop and you can actually spot game much easier. And then as soon as the spring rains fall, everything explodes into greens and going into summer. Here is a fantastic picture of one of the beautiful old baobab trees. Some of these trees get to 2,000, maybe even 3,000 years old. But each one probably has a fantastic story to tell of every civilization that moved around and under it over the centuries. There's another picture in the bottom right of a lovely baobab standing out. Then, of course, Lipadi Hill especially has got historical and archaeological significance. It's got many archaeological sites which are back to the earliest inhabitants of the region. And similar to Great Zimbabwe and Mapungubwe, some of the history and some of the relics and ruins that have been found on Lipadi Hill actually date back from that time. And we occasionally invite archaeological experts to do some research and also take some tours with shareholders and inform us of the history and the archaeological significance of Lipadi Hill. Of course, you get your typical sunsets and sunrises, which is totally unique to Africa on Limpopo Lipadi. Abundant game and wildlife, a lot of species. One of the things that shareholders find is because you're now not on this 5-day program on a cruiser, off a cruiser, and you sort of herd it along with the rest of the pack when going on safari, you have time to explore. And it's interesting how shareholders have noted over the last years how some of the game have started getting used to our game ride vehicles. For example, although we saw tracks of cheetah on the reserve already 3 years ago, only in the last year that we find that cheetahs really got used to the vehicles, and now they are actually seen quite often. Similar with leopards that have been spotted quite often on the reserve now. I mean, you'll read Magnus' story of spotting 9 leopards over a 3 or 4 week period since they've been when they've been to Limpopo Lipadi during 2010. There on the right hand corner you see our wild dog puppies. They were so young then. That was in August 2008. Of course, now they're already running around on the reserve fully mature in their hunting pack. And of course, white rhino we've introduced as well. We had a number of the I'll get back to the elephants just now. Just some of the things we've seen on the reserve, which is very exciting, is the variety of smaller species as well, and very rare species. I've had sightings of aardwolf and aardvark and brown hyena on Limpopo Lipadi, which I've never seen in my entire life in any of the other game reserve spots that I've been to. And so quite a number of shareholders have sort of had first sightings of some of these unique species on Limpopo Lipadi. Again, because of the freedom of getting into your cruiser, going out to a waterhole, sitting there the whole day, if you like sitting there the whole night, coming back anytime at night when you want to come back. And of course, that's why you see and you have opportunity of identifying so many more of these species. The legendary Tule elephants, we had so many of them, probably more than 100 in the reserve, and because of our carrying capacity being smaller, we had to capture and release a number of them into the wider Tule area. It was quite an exciting program with shareholders from all over coming and helping us along with the vets, etc. And we've collared some of the elephant, and we can follow some of these herds all over the Tule at the moment. Then, of course, the bird life. Those of you that are avid birders, it is an absolute paradise. And I mean, I can go into much more detail with regards to the birding experiences at Limpopo Lipadi, but you should ask our existing bird-loving shareholders about their experiences and get it from their mouths. It is an absolute paradise for birders. So from the biggest animals to the smallest insects, there is something for everyone's interest, and you can really explore the bush in a much deeper way at Limpopo Lipadi. Just to summarize and give you a little bit of a layout and a map of the reserve, as I mentioned, down here on the south, you see the river line, the 21 kilometers of river, with River Camp, the one completed with 7 lodges, and then also Island Lodge, which is halfway completed. In the riverine habitat with its islands and its springs and the potholes over there. Then as you go a bit further north, you're going into the acacia veld with knobthorns, leadwood forest, marula forest, and which is typical of Kruger, etc., and the Lowveld areas near Hoedspruit in South Africa. And then as you go further north, you get into Mopani veld and around Lipadi Hill, which reminds a little bit about the Waterberg in Limpopo province in South Africa. You have those spectacular views and a lot of old baobabs, rock figs, marulas in that area. And then in the north here, you've got a fantastic wild syringa forest. I've never seen such a dense and almost surreal forest in any bush environment. Even the waterberg, which is quite a number of syringas, you never see them so densely together. And this makes for another unique part of the biodiversity of Limpopo Lipadi. You also have these open plains, which is in a very small way like the Tanzanian or Kenyan plains, where you see larger herds of eland and even oryx, and also wildebeest and zebra. You in the western side here, you find a lot of red sand, so reminds a little bit of the Kalahari Desert. And you see various camps that we plan here. We see the Marula tented camp in the center, and also Lipadi Rock Lodge there on the western slope of Lipadi Hill, Kirkia Camp in the Kirkia Forest, in the Syringa Forest, and Wilderness Tented Camp. These are potential areas that we've identified for further camps or accommodation. Now, as you know, we are limiting as much as possible our human interference, and we will only expand into further camps from River Camp and Island Lodge, which we've got down here, if we find that our occupancy is increasing and that it is necessary with regards to the number of shareholders we have, so that we can give, we always want to give our conservation aspects first rights, and so we don't want to infringe on these areas if it's not necessary, but we have identified these areas where we would have significant or low impact, and where there is water, we can put up some of these potential future camps, and I'll share more of that in another video. So this is a good, or just a summary of our biodiversity on the reserve. And as you can see, I think that's one of the unique features of Limpopo Lipadi is the various areas and biodiversity that you experience, having a little bit of all the major parks around Southern Africa, all combined together here in Limpopo Lipadi, and there for you to explore on your own as you like, in the time that you have, or of course going out with a ranger. And in my next video, I'm going to share a whole lot more on how it actually practically works. What do you get if you purchase a share in the Limpopo Lipadi? What benefits do you have? How much access do you have? How do you get there, etc., etc. So see you in the next video. Thank you very much.